Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, June 11th. I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, Tiffany Alston's fate is now in the hands of the jury. The delegate for the 24th District in Prince George's County is charged with theft and misconduct for allegedly using General Assembly funds to pay a staffer in her law firm. Denise Douglas has the latest from the Anne Arundel County Courthouse.
The jury is now looking at whether Delegate Tiffany Alston is guilty or not guilty of theft and misconduct charges, essentially focusing in on whether she used General Assembly funds to pay Rayshawn Ford, one of her staffers. Now, throughout this case, prosecutors have said that she did and that she should not have because Ford was working in her personal law office. Her attorneys, however, have argued that Ford herself testified to doing legislative work such as setting up the calendar, the district office, and things of that nature. Ford was paid $800 in 2011, but again, it is now up to the jury, made up of 7 women and 5 men, to decide Alston's fate. She's a freshman lawmaker, and if she's convicted of the charges, she could lose her seat. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And Alston will be back in court later this year to face more charges. She's accused of stealing money from her campaign funds to pay for her wedding expenses. Well, last year at this time, we told you about several Langley Park apartment complexes that were infested with insects and rodents and were falling apart due to neglect. This morning, we went back to Bedford Apartments, where tenants are once again claiming that they're being mistreated.
Y la vez pasada que yo conecté mi aire en el cuarto, llegaron a quitarlo de la manager y los mantenimientos, llegaron a quitar en el cuarto, lo bajaron y lo tiraron en la sala.
Ilda Cabrera says when she turned on the window AC unit in her apartment a few weeks ago, management came calling. They told her she's not allowed to use it because the trunk line transporting electricity to the complex couldn't handle more than basic electrical needs. Then they ripped a protest sign out of her window, one that said "No more abuse" in Spanish.
Due to the issue of the air conditioning, the tenants came here, 110 tenants came one night to complain about the charges of the air conditioning and also the mistreatment, how this company, how Laramar is treating their own tenants. How they harass them, they treat them like if they're not human beings. And so, therefore, tenants decided to hang signs saying no more abuse signs that they have been putting in their windows. And management, Laramar, again, came into their apartment to rip them out and then to harass them, to tell them that if they were to continue hanging those signs in their windows, then that they would be evicted.
For several months last summer, we told you about the quest to clean up several apartment complexes, ones that had collapsing floors and cabinets, mold and mildew, as well as insect and rat infestation. The tenants even brought their landlord to court, eventually losing several separate cases. Casa de Maryland says the problems have never really been resolved.
The problem right now, the tenants have to prioritize, I guess, whether to fight to get rid of the cockroaches or the bed bugs, or to have air conditioning for their little ones.
We went to the management company's office to request an interview, but we're told, quote, "We have no comment and will have no comment in the future. We did that last year and we're not doing it again." And CTV News will continue to follow this story with the latest developments. Well, not your typical wake-up call for some residents in Hyattsville this morning. A car crashed into a house at the corner of Riggs Road and Willow Lane about 6:30 a.m. According to police, the vehicle knocked down a sign, skidding across the grass and then plowing through a gate. 4 people were in the home at the time, but no injuries were reported. Police have detained the driver of the vehicle. His name has not been released, but officials say he has been given several citations. Well, Prince George's police collect more than 200 guns at a recent weapon buyback event in Landover. Residents were able to hand in unloaded guns, no questions asked, in exchange for a Visa gift card. The event was held last weekend, and a police spokesman tells CTV the initiative was a huge success. As of now, officials say they plan on holding the program again in the near future, but no date has been set. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.